Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of the Orange Thumbstick podcast. I'm Dave, and as always, I'm joined by Russ and Bobby. Russ, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all good. Bobby, you all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
Good. Excellent. We were just talking off air about how quickly this year's gone by. It's been busy, hasn't it?
Yeah, man. It's been very busy. Bobby earlier on picking his games for a bit later on, thinking of games from last year.
It's all just blurred into one for me.
Well, I mean, that's it now. It's
still
pretty quiet. Yeah, well, it's pretty quiet now. I mean, the only thing coming out is PUBG, which is out on the 12th of December, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's been good. It's been busy. Russ, what are your highlights of the last 12 months? You can beat anything, highs and lows.
I suppose for a high point, it's got to be the amount of games. I know there's going to be people out there saying, "Oh, yeah, but they're not exclusives," blah blah blah. But yeah, the amount of games that have been released this year have just been one after another, hasn't it? I mean, some weeks there's been 12, 13 and more. As for a low point, it's got to be all this microtransaction loot box stuff that's been going on recently. It's getting a bit of a ball now, isn't it?
Yeah, and it all seems to be centering around AI as well, which is a little bit disappointing. Recent reports of UFC 3, which I've had a go on the beta, is just it's microtransactions and everything. Yeah. Admittedly, it's in Ultimate Team as it is in FIFA, but that shouldn't sort of shadow the fact that Star Wars Battlefront is completely riddled with them, or was until they turn them off.
Yeah,
they're going to come back eventually. So yeah, I'd agree with that. But yeah, the amount of games it's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't it? Really, Bobby. What about your highs and lows for the year? What stands out?
High point has to be the Xbox One X. I know that you were talking about microtransactions being a low point in the amount of games and stuff, but the Xbox One X has to be Xbox. I said it, Russ, before you pointed out. It has to be me high point for the year. It's absolutely fantastic. It does everything that it says on the tin. And as for a low point, it's something I've noticed, and I don't know if you two will agree with this, but the amount of games that have came out that aren't finished compared to, I know it's always happened, well, for a number of years, games have been coming out that haven't been fully finished, and then they introduced the preview program and things like that. But I feel like this year, more games have came out that have had massive problems, not just little niggly problems. It's at a point now where I can't think off the top of my head of a game that's came out and hasn't had a single issue. Now, I know they're all going to have issues, but I feel like it's just becoming a bigger problem this year, especially with all the drama of microtransactions, because that's technically part of the game's release as well. So that would be my low point for the year.
Which is the one that stands out mostly that you didn't think was finished, Bob?
It's actually one that I've picked as a mention for one of me online games, and it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, good example.
The servers were that bad. Me and Russ were lucky because we have the club on Xbox, so we just posted in there saying, does anyone want to play? And people would jump in with us. But at first, before we had the bright idea of doing that, we were sitting just playing, me and him, for hours on end, and it was getting, I'm not going to say boring because we had a good laugh at it, but it was more frustrating because we wanted to go against other people and you just obviously couldn't. I don't even know, we're sitting in December now, the game's been out ages, I don't even know if they fixed it, because after we played a bit of it and had a bit hype, I never went back to it for that issue. I was just waiting for someone to give us the nod saying, yeah, it's fixed, and I'll go back and put a good few hours under the hood.
Well, I would hope it was finished because they've released it on disc, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
And it received an award as well from Golden Joystick, I believe. Or was it whatever else it would have been? One of the major
Golden
awards.
Shower Award, you mean?
Or one of the major awards. They won one for whatever, I don't know.
I don't understand why that's won an award, to be honest. But
it is a great game. It's just
yeah, great game. It weren't finished. We weren't finished though. It was a half-assed attempt at releasing a game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realised how big it was going to go, and they didn't have adequate servers for that. I know it's not, but that's that's the only way that I can try and figure out why they would release that game the way that it was. Trying to rationalise it, and that's the only way
issues with the servers. Though, one of the people were completely locked out of playing it as well, because it happened to me. If you remember, that's why I stopped playing it.
Ah, yes, it did.
Got completely locked out
of
the game.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was buggy as hell as well, wasn't it?
Yep.
Let's be honest. Yeah, highs, definitely the Xbox One X. It's delivered exactly what, Microsoft and Team Xbox promised at E3. What they promised at last year's E3 as well. I think when they made that statement, a lot of people were sort of raising their eyebrows and thinking that what they were saying wasn't going to happen, but it has, and it's been pretty successful. And the low points for me would be the microtransaction side of things. It's just ruining the industry, in my opinion. And it's good to see the community's fighting back, which is why I have done what they've done with Battlefront 2 and withdrawn any sort of paid-for transactions. But they'll come back.
Yep.
They're just waiting for it all to calm down. They're luring people in. And once everyone's playing it, then they'll press that button again and open them up. So it's unfortunate, and I hope 2018 is different for microtransactions, and developers and publishers kind of get the hint that we don't like them very much. So let's move on to Game of the Year list then. So Bobby, I'm going to start with you. The categories that we're going to be doing, just so everyone knows, we're going to be doing our AAA Game of the Year, our Indie Game of the Year, our Online Game of the Year, Sports/Racing Games of the Year, Most Underrated Game of the Year, and Worst Game of the Year. And then at the end of each of our lists, we're going to give the award for the highest rated game of 2017 on the website. So Bobby, let's start with yours and your AAA Game of the Year. What is it, and why have you chose it?
AAA game was Call of Duty World War II. I think they've had a number of World War II titles in the franchise, but I think they've done this one fantastic. The storyline was great, it pulled on your heartstrings. Multiplayer was great. I'm not 100% on how they've set up the little microtransaction side of it. I don't know if I agree with it, forgetting certain things, but other than that aside, I thought the game was absolutely fantastic, so that's going to be my Game of the Year. The indie game of the year would have to be Snake Pass. Fantastic family/kids game. Me and Russ both loved it. We tried it out at EGX in 2016 and we really look forward to it coming out. Killing Floor 2 needs a mention. That was great. Loved playing that with the guys. And Sniper Elite 4, another one that was fantastic. As for my online game, it would have to be Halo Wars 2. It was everything that we all expected. All of Halo fans did anyways. Great little push from the first one. Also want to mention Fortnite. That's a little free-to-play game. That's great. And Friday the 13th, despite its issues, what it tried to do was great. It just didn't 100% achieve it because of its server issues and its bug issues. But if they could fix that, that would be a strong contender for a Game of the Year. For my sports and racing games, I've chose Tabletop Racing World Tour. Absolutely loved it. I think we played it when we're done with Game Blast stream, and it was heaps of fun. I would actually like to see another one if they do bring another one out. And then obviously Micro Machines, because that's basically what Tabletop Racing was trying to be. Underrated Game of the Year, I would have to say Assault Android Cactus. Just picked this up about a month back. The amount of what's the word I'm looking for? The amount of customizing you can do in the game is crazy, and it's not what I expected. It's a little twin-stick shooter, and it's definitely worth a look at from everybody because it ticks a lot of boxes. As for my worst Game of the Year, it has to be Industry Giant 2. It is basically a port from a really old PC game, and I don't feel like they've brought it to the console correctly, and it wasn't any fun. I personally really struggled to even play it and get my head in it because it was just all over the shop. I felt like I needed a keyboard and mouse to play it, and I hadn't ported it correctly for a controller. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Russ, what about you, mate?
Right, so my AAA Game of the Year is going to be The Evil Within 2. Reasons for that are they got a lot of stick for the first game, and they listened and just completely turned it around on its head for the second one, and for me is one of the main reasons that single player games are not dead. Absolutely love it. So yeah, that's for my AAA. My indie game of the year is going to be Sniper Elite 4. A joy to play online with your mates. The co-op on it's really good as well. You know, it's all that tactical sort of hiding in bushes and stuff. We all know Bobby likes doing that. The chop that in there. So yeah, that's for my indie game of the year. My sports game of the year is, well, I say sports/racing game of the year is going to be Dirt 4, with an honourable mention for PES as well, PES 2018. So yeah, Dirt 4 is...
You really enjoyed Dirt 4, didn't
you? It's, again, they listened to people's criticisms of the previous year's game and made adjustments to make it a more suitable game for everybody to play. So yeah, Dirt 4 for that one. My online game of the year is going to be Ghost Recon Wildlands. We all enjoyed playing that for a little while, didn't we? And again, it was a case of different people jumping in at different times, and it was a laugh every single time I played it with different people. So that's my online game of the year, with honourable mention to Killing Floor 2 for that one. My underrated game of the year is going to be Prey. Again, another fantastic game. Again, proving that single player games are not dead. It just completely went under the radar for a lot of people, from my opinion. So yeah, Prey for that one. And finally, my worst game of the year is going to be Road Rage, because it was meant to look like Road Rage, but it doesn't play like Road Rage. Little dig there to somebody we know. They called, obviously I'm on about Road Rash. So yeah, we're meant to be an homage to Road Rash, and as I said to, I think it was you, Dave, last week, Road Rash would be turning in its grave if it could see that game. So yeah, that's there's my list there. Yeah,
just to that review for Road Rage that we read was it was terrible. It was really bad. They were basically saying that Road Rash was Road Rage and Road Rage was based on Road Rage, and oh god, the review was worse than the game. So my AAA game of the year was a bit of a it was a tough decision for me because I had two of them, but I've gone with Shadow of War. Absolutely brilliant. The first one I'm a massive fan of anyway, and the second one just completely delivered on everything that it promised. Yes, there were microtransactions in there, but they weren't intrusive, as I said in my review, and I didn't feel the need to buy any of the chests or anything like that. The game can feel like a bit of a grind, but it's fun. It's a fun grind, so for that reason, that's getting my AAA game of the year, with Wolfenstein 2 being a very, very, very close competitor to it, because that game is absolutely brilliant as well.
Mm-hmm.
My indie game of the year is the fantastic Thimbleweed Park. I can't speak highly enough of this game. It just brought back a load of childhood memories of the old point-and-click adventures. Just absolutely fantastic, brilliant game, funny, well written, and the puzzles in there are just so old school that it's a real big nostalgia hit, but it's done right. Online game, I'm going to go for Killing Floor 2. I think the amount of fun that we had when we were playing it was just a laugh, a complete barrel of fun, really. Thoroughly enjoyed it and deserves all the plaudits, really. Sports game is PES. Again, for probably the third year running, it's absolutely annihilated FIFA in the gameplay department, and again, it deserves all the praise that it's getting at the moment. The most underrated game that I'm going to pick this year, I was going to go for Killing Floor 2 again, to be honest, but it was well received in general. So I'm going to go for NBA Playgrounds, because I just think that for an arcade sports title that we haven't really seen for a long time, I don't think NBA Playgrounds quite got the coverage it deserved across the board from media and whatever, because it is a fantastic game. It's fun to play, and it's cheap as well. It's really, really cheap. It has a good online. So yeah, I'm going to go with NBA Playgrounds. The worst game of the year, God. There have been some clangers this year. I am going to go with the utterly disgraceful Deformers. That game, I didn't get it. I didn't understand what it was about. It played terrible. It looked awful. There was nothing to it. You were just a blob of sludge bouncing around uncontrollably. Yeah. Followed closely by Uncanny Valley and the horrendous Bush Hockey League. There ain't no handlebar moustache saving that game. So yeah, that's my pick. But go on, Bob.
Just quickly to go back to the Deformers, I remember watching the preview vids for that, the trailers for that, and thinking, that'll be great. And I remember we were talking about who was going to review it, and you said you'd take it, and I had to do the video for it. I think I did with Russ or something like that. And yeah. I remember at the end of the video, I was just sitting there like, I'm so happy Dave took this review.
Stitched me up there, didn't you?
I did, stitched you up. I knew we'd get it in.
Notice there's no Rockstar games in there as well. I'm just pointing that out.
I was about to say, your AAA that you selected, I was going to say, was that developed by Rockstar?
No.
Were you sure, mate?
Russ got a Codemasters game in there.
I did.
Oh, obviously. Get a Codemasters straight in there.
Hang on, Bobby, you had a Codemasters game in there as well, didn't you? Didn't you have Micro Machines in? Oh, no, Tabletop Racing.
He did say
Tabletop Racing. It got a mention, though. They got a mention.
Did get a mention, sure, yeah. Did get a mention. But there've been some great games this year, and Wildlands, because it was fairly early in the year when we were discussing our choices and debating our choices off air. A lot of us were sort of like, bloody hell, yeah, Wildlands. Forgot about that because it was so early in the year. Yeah.
Yep.
But there have been some real gems. I mean, Sonic Mania, he's absolutely fantastic. That reviewed really, really well across the board, and definitely deserves a mention because that game is fantastic. Sonic Forces unfortunately didn't quite live up to that standard that Sonic Mania hit. But there have been some fantastic games this year, and I just want to say as well, all this surrounding talk about single player games, dying a death and not being as popular as they were. We've all pretty much got a couple of single player games in our list there.
Yeah. I picked two.
Not only reviewed well, but have been some of the top selling games sort of in the last couple of months. I mean, Wolfenstein, Shadow of War have been in sort of like the top 5 games sold, along with Evil Within 2. I think he's in the top 10 as well. There's 3 massive single player only games that are consistently selling really, really well.
Yep.
So what does that tell you? Russ, do you want to go ahead and announce the award for the highest rated game of 2017 on XGR?
Yep. So the award for highest rated game on XGR, which means this game that scored the most overall with its review, it goes to Cuphead. That's not really surprising at all, really, is it? It was hyped quite well, and it's one of the rare occasions that a game lived up to its hype. So, congrats to Studio MDHR.
Yep. And again, we've mentioned it before, but the amount that the devs literally gave up to do this game.
Yeah.
Remortgage their houses and everything, and I'm really pleased that it turned out the way it did. It was a 9.7, was it, I believe, when Cole reviewed it?
9.7, yep.
And that's a pretty high score. Again, it's been really well received, well reviewed. There was a couple of people out there saying that it didn't, tick the boxes they expected, but we all knew it was going to be a difficult game. I think.
Let's be honest.
No, you can't please everybody, and a lot of those comments were because of how difficult it was. I think the difficulty adds to its charm, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yep. So 2018 then. What are your wants and hopes of 2018 going forward?
Anthem.
Bobby? Anthem.
I want
Anthem, mate.
I want Anthem. That's what I want.
That won't be 2018. That'll be 19.
Don't say that to us, Dave. You're going to spoil
I'm sorry,
Christmas.
mate.
Stitching you
I'm
up again.
sorry. Well,
He is. Horrible, you, Dave. Horrible.
if that game comes out in 2018, I'm thinking of a forfeit here that I could do.
You'll have to stream your worst game of the year
For
2
24
hours.
hours. Oh, 2 hours. I was
And-
being really harsh there.
For 24 hours? I wouldn't even do a game I love for 24 hours unless it was for charity.
This is the thing, right, Dave? If it comes out next year, you have to stream Deformers for 2 hours, an hour 2, something like that. If it doesn't come out, I believe Emily Wants to Play 2 should be out by then, and I'll stream that for 2 hours.
Deal. Sold to the man over there in the corner.
Behind the bushes.
And you
Yeah,
edit it
okay,
first,
I'll
folks.
take that.
Yep.
I'll do that.
I'll take that. I'll
Best
take
prepare
that.
yourself, Bob. Best way to prepare for
I
it
know.
is playing Emily Wants to Play 1 again.
And just stream it again, yeah.
I'm not doing that again. It'll literally be, if I end up streaming Emily Wants to Play 2, it'll be 2 hours of me dying within the first 30 seconds of spawning the level and constant swearing.
And headbutting
It's
the
the
TV.
only time on a stream where I say, and headbutting. I nearly headbutted the TV on the last one, that's why we finished it, because I nearly took out my TV. But it's the only game that I stream when I said to Russ, look, when I swear in this, we always try and keep swears to a minimum and try our best. And I said, when I swear in this, mate, it's just, we just ignore it. And I think the amount of swears I've done in that, well, we're going to edit it and beep them all out and put it on YouTube. And I think the amount of work that would have had to go into it, it
Just a
would have just been
constant beep.
one long beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of horror games, Russ, I'm surprised that Resi 7 was not on your list.
So am I,
I thought about it,
because it was a great game.
but to be fair, I preferred the freedom of Prey over Resi 7. And as for...
Yeah.
Same for Evil Within 2 as well. I had a little bit more freedom to it than Resi 7.
Yeah.
But, it's up there. A lot of people didn't like it because it's not the tried and true Resident Evil formula, but there's nothing wrong with a studio trying something different now and again. At the end of the day, they've got to keep up with the current horror games, which you're looking at the likes of Outlast, etc. So that's what they sort of went for with that, didn't they? But it was up there.
Okay, and in terms of, you recently released a gift guide as well, didn't you? Do you want to just run through a couple of those gift ideas that people might want to sort of think about for over the Christmas period?
Right, so quick rundown of the 2017 holiday gift guide that we'll put up. We picked a few different things from consoles, hard drives, controllers, and accessories. So we're going to start off with consoles. We picked the Xbox One S Minecraft Edition console. I think it will be a great gift for anybody this holiday season, especially for the kids. They're going to love it, and it's nicely painted. I believe it has redstone on the bottom, like lights that light up looking like redstone, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Comes with a custom controller as well, painted like what them things called, Russ? Creeper, that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, comes with a Creeper painted controller and a copy of Minecraft, and I think it's got Minecraft story mode in there as well. Also had a look around different hard drives. There are hard drives you can get which are licensed by Xbox. We wanted the best value for money with the largest storage area, and we found a 4GB Seagate one on Amazon. It was also available in Argos and other high street retailers at a decent price. They did do it ranging from 500 gig up to 4 gig, so if you didn't want to spend so much on the 4 gig, you could get a 1, 2, 3, and so on. Also wanted to mention in the controller section was we did give a brief mention of the Xbox One Elite controller because it's obviously amazing, but they do have the design labs where you can go on and create your own controller, paint it any way you want with the colours that they've got. You can even get your name put on the bottom. It all comes in at a decent price. I think with everything on, metallic D-pad, metallic triggers, personalised message and rubberized grip was $87.95. For a custom controller, that's absolutely fantastic, especially considering it's going to get a warranty rather than one of these cheap shells you can buy on Fleabay and put together. So that's definitely worth a look at. Wanted to chuck in a few accessories, so we had a look at the Snakebite game kit, which consists of a carry case for your controller, a bit like the one you get with the Elite controller. You also get a 3 meter charging cable, I think it is, a braided charging cable, and it comes with some thumbstick covers. Russ found the next one, which was absolutely fantastic. They're called Cable Guys, and we're not talking about me here. It is basically little Call of Duty action figures that hold your controller or your phone whilst you're charging. I think it's great, especially for people who stream and like to have the chat up on the phone. They can put that in front of them, plug it into charge, and have it right in front of them as a stand, and it's great. It keeps in with the look of your gaming area and things like that, and obviously it works as a controller charger at the same time. And then we'll have a look at trigger treads. I don't know if you've heard of those before. They do rubberized grips for your triggers. They also do thumbstick covers in a variety of colours and designs. Definitely worth a look at. They've also just brought out the Scorpio edition one, like a limited edition run, and it has a little Scorpio logo on the thumbsticks and on the triggers, and they're in black and green, and they look really, really good. These are quite cheap, ranging from $2.99 to $6.99, depending on where you find them online. It's a great little upgrade to your controller. I know me and Russ have used them in the past. My new controller doesn't have anything on, but usually I've got the thumbstick covers by them. Definitely worth it. They save the controller so you don't wear it all out. And great. And then we chose 2 headsets. We had to take a look at which headsets we thought were the best. And the Lucid Sound LS20 came out as the best on the website, I believe it was, Russ?
Yeah. Well, we went for a wired and a wireless, didn't we? That's the 2 that we chose.
We went for a wired and a wireless in the end, but we're trying to agree on the best one, and it had to be the LS20s. They were the best overall for everything. And they're a wired headset, which is fantastic. I actually haven't picked a set up myself, but I've been on about getting a new wired headset for a while, haven't I? And I'm thinking of maybe buying a set of LS20s. And for the wireless headset, we chose the Turtle Beach Stealth 700. Dave, you got more hands-on with this than I did, but I thought it was a fantastic little headset, better than the rest that I'd checked out. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, the headset itself is it's fantastic. The sound quality is unbelievable. And I mentioned in my review that when they were first released, I think it was September time, they released with a little bit of... There was a couple of issues with disconnecting from the console and everything, but they quickly released a firmware update for them. Mine actually came with that firmware update preloaded onto them. But they're just really convenient. You know, the smart hub on your phone to change all your settings and everything is just fantastic. You can adjust your mic control, literally everything on your phone. There's no messing about going into your settings in the console or anything like that. Buttons on the side are well placed, and the sound quality on it is just absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. They're really loud as well. So, yeah, Titanfall 2 sounds cracking through them, I can tell you. Yeah, all of those are obviously found on the website that Bobby's just gone through there. So, are there any links on the website as to where they can be purchased?
Yeah, they're all linked.
Yes, there's.
Yeah. Brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, so I think that's it. Russ, do you want to go through social network channels?
I will, but first you need to update everybody on the what's going to happen with the podcast next year, Dave.
Oh, I was going to save that to the very, very end, but no, we will do it now. Yeah, so basically, because of the great reception that the podcast has had over the last 12 months, we have decided to take the podcast weekly as of January. So I just want to, I'm sure the guys will agree, but I just want to thank everybody that's listened to it, that's subscribed to it, and all the positive comments that we've had about it as well. It's been greatly appreciated, and it's because of that we've decided to go weekly. The formula, I haven't quite sort of figured out how the formula's gonna work yet, but it's definitely going to be slightly different, I think, than what we're doing at the moment, and yeah, it's going to be going weekly as of January 2018. So that is wonderful stuff. Everyone gets to hear Bobby's lovely Geordie accent 4 times a month.
People will pay for that. People would pay for that. My absolutely gorgeous voice with the Geordie accent. People would pay for it. I might even say Biker Grove a few times as well, just for the giggles.
And Spuggy.
Spuggy.
Oh dear.
Oh God. Why have we even got onto Barker Grove? I don't get
I
it.
don't know. I'm waiting for the orange chips to be
How
brought
did
up
we-
again.
I was going to bring up
Orange
orange
are brought
chips.
up, yeah. You leave that lovely West Midlands dish alone.
Culinary
That's all I'm
delight.
going to say.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Culinary
Culinary
delight. Orange chips. Don't knock until you've scoffed them.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. So, Russ, now we've announced that the podcast is going weekly. Do you want to go through website, social media, and video streams?
Yep, so don't forget to head over to the website to check everything out that we do over there. That's xboxgamerreviews.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. That's at Xbox_GR, Facebook.com/Xbox Gamer Reviews, and all our videos over on YouTube at YouTube.com/Xbox Gamer Reviews.com. And you can also visit us on Mixer, Mixer.com/Xbox Gamer Reviews. Again, I will say it again, for the third or fourth month running, we are going to try and get some streaming on the go properly on there soon. So yeah, head over there, get subscribed before we do.
Yes, because Bobby's going to stream Emily Wants to Play.
Oh yeah.
You're going to stream Deformers?
I'm not going to stream Deformers because trust me,
mate.
when I say
2018, mate. 2018, mate.
No, it's not coming out in 2018, it's 2019, trust me.
When it comes
Right.
out, you're not only going to stream Deformers, you're also going to buy me a bag of orange chips.
Deal. That is
Done.
a deal.
Done.
And on that
Sorted.
note, goodbye everybody, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. And as mentioned, we'll be back in the new year with weekly podcasts and more news, reviews and previews on the website. Until then, we are all off to get free haircuts off Bobby. See you later.
Ta-da.
See you later.